They're the student athletes. 7 wins over ranked opponents this season, and you look at the way you finished out last night, it shows that clearly when you're on, I mean, you can pretty much play with anyone. I guess the question is, how do you bottle that? How do you get that for 40 minutes like you'll probably need tomorrow night?
Samantha, please answer that.
Well, I think you're going to, could be the last game of your season. You don't want it to be. So if tomorrow doesn't get you up for anything, nothing really would. Playing against a team like Notre Dame, obviously a great team and nationally recognized for being a great team. You got to be ready for it. We have nothing to lose going to this game, and we're just really excited about the opportunity that we got.
Front left, second row.
Morgan, talk a little bit, right now Florida Gulf Coast, and everyone's talking about them because they are the Cinderella and have shocked some people. Do you ever think about how it might be good for your sport overall if you guys could pull off a win over Notre Dame, because people would pay attention?
I think it's a great opportunity. Looking at the bracket yesterday, there was just 4 upsets in the bracket, and just for women's basketball in general, it would just draw the nation's eyes on us as a program and on women's basketball in general. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to just prove that women's basketball has something to give to this nation.
Front right.
For either one of you guys, you're veteran players. Sam is not of the same class as Morgan, obviously, but you've played AAU ball at the highest levels. What's the difference between the kind of elite teams, not necessarily UConn or Notre Dame, but the teams that make it to the Sweet 16, that make it to the Elite 8, and teams that just get in the tournament? What is that next step? What do you see in those teams that aren't there in the teams that say just are first round teams?
I would say playing for 40 minutes. You have to be able to play 40 minutes. In the tournament, obviously it's March Madness, so anything can happen. You have to be ready for 40 minutes of basketball, and you have to put your best game on. Otherwise, you can go home. I mean, we've seen it in the men's tournament. 2 seeds have been knocked out, and 1 seed's been knocked out. So you just have to be ready and take every possession like it's the most important one.
I think they're very consistent in fundamentals all the time. They don't have to worry about boxing out because that's something that is a sustained thing throughout their whole entire season. So just having those fundamentals consistently are just really important and get them to the next level so they can focus on other things.
Third row left.
Hi, Morgan. There's a difference in the rebounding numbers for Notre Dame and Iowa. Can you talk about how important the rebounding will be for you, and how do you close those numbers up, so to speak?
I think we just really have to execute on boxing out. I mean, I know that's really always the answer, but going after the boards after you box out and just being consistent with that, not having them let up, coming out straight out the gate and letting them know that we're here to battle and going after every board with everything we have.
Third row center.
Sam, Notre Dame's a team that scored almost 100 points the other day. Do you guys want to play an up and down game with them or try to slow it down?
Well, I think we just had to play in control with whatever we do. We're going to look to push when we can. Just you can't force anything too much against them. Can't give them any extra opportunities. But I mean, if we can push, we would like to. But you just have to be controlled, make them work. You got to score with them too. Obviously, they can put up big numbers.
Back row.
Sam or Morgan, you guys really pride yourself on having balance on the team. You look at Notre Dame, they got players like Skylar Diggins, and you have Jewel Lloyd, a freshman. How do you have to counter their balance as well? It seems that's going to be definitely a challenge.
Morgan, please take that.
I think that everyone has to be on point. I mean, there can't be any let-ups with who's on the floor. Just continuing to move people in and out of the rotation with flawlessness and just everyone being on point, because all of them are good. They play for Notre Dame, so all of them have the ability to score and do good things.
Second row left.
Morgan or Sam, in the recent years, has there been a women's basketball upset that you guys remember, or that you kind of followed or got into it at all?
Samantha, please take that.
No, not that I remember. I think I mean, it's a huge deal even when a number 1 gets knocked out, even if it's by number 2, which really, I mean, technically isn't that huge of an upset. I mean, even the last 2 years have been the same 1 through number 1 seeds, you know, with those 4 teams up there. It doesn't happen very often in women's, and I think I was telling someone before, maybe coach, but we need a little more madness in women's basketball too. So why not start with us?
Any more questions for the student athletes?